Hello and welcome, friends. I hope everybody's had a great day so far. If you are new here, welcome. And if you're back, welcome back. I greatly appreciate all of the ongoing support. This is my channel, Dragonsjewel, and I'm Tegan, and I'm just going to get all that wonderful YouTubey stuff out of the way first. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please consider doing so. It's just down below. If you like the content you see, don't forget to hit like. And of course, any love, comment, suggestions, all those wonderful things, there's that comment section down below as well for all of that. Today, as you can see here, we have a diamond painting in front of me. This one is the one from Look Art that has the curious little dog. And of course, just as my dog decides he's going to let out a little whine, that's Ace. You might hear him in the background. He's hanging out in the office with me while I do this. I get going more on this guy. I haven't had nearly as much time to work on him as I would have liked. It's been... not that it's necessarily been busy, I've just have my little man at home with me because it's still his summertime. So it's really more just, I don't have time to sit down and diamond paint. My hubby's working, so there's even evenings where I don't get to diamond paint because we're just so tired when we go to bed. So yeah, I just haven't been able to work on it as much as I would like. So she's a little slow coming along, but we're coming along slowly. Been pretty good working on it. I like how it's kind of coming together. It's looking really adorable, and I love this little face of his on here. I got him as part of a peer unboxing. If you haven't seen that, definitely worth checking it out. You still have time if you want to participate in their dog and cat month. You just order an animal themed canvas from them and then throw up a review. So show some progress, throw up a little review, and you can get, I think it was 10% off. I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, you can get, yeah, I think it was 10%, and then if you, or 15%, and then if you included a picture with your pet, then it was 20%. Don't quote me on the exact percentages because I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, you can definitely earn back some of your purchase. I do have the affiliate link linked below for them, as well as a code Dragons10 if you want to save a little bit. So definitely feel free to use that. Even if you don't make the dog and cat themed month, that'll still be there for you. But yeah, so let's get into our good old wip&chat. And for those of you who don't know what WIP stands for, that's just work in progress. So anything you're working on, you can pull one out, work alongside me, or you can get some things done around the house, or whatever you'd like to do with these little chats and listenings. You kind of treat it like a podcast or whichever. Right now it is Thursday evening. We just finished having dinner. We did kind of a lazy dinner. We ordered in some pizza. Hubby has tomorrow off, so it's the start of his weekend too. So we usually tend to do a pretty chill dinner as well to kind of end our week. Let go of my pan. So yeah, it's Thursday night, about 6:30 now, 6:40. It's been a long day for me. The little man kind of tried to wake up before Dad went to work, and he was causing trouble, and all of that commotion kind of woke me up this morning a bit, and then I think that obviously affected his mood a little bit today because he was just pushing buttons, testing my patience, not listening, getting cranky when he isn't getting his way. So it's been a very trying day with him. And I'm feeling a bit tired. I debated waiting until tomorrow to film this or film it tonight, that kind of thing, whether or just taking a break altogether, but I figured I'll film it. It may not be the most energetic wip&chat out there, but that's just kind of the day that I've had. So I apologize if it's, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, let's see. We go all the way back to July 8th for catching up on everything. It hasn't necessarily been crazy busy during the weekdays, other than just having the little man at home and kind of keeping him occupied and busy and that kind of thing. My aunt's kind of coming an extra day, so she normally comes on Sundays when he's in school, but then in the summer she's also been coming on Thursday, so she was here today. I was very tired, so I just ended up using most of the time actually that she was here just to go down and get some rest in so that I would have some energy for tonight as well. But yeah, going back to the 8th, that would have normally been our Fraggle weekend. That weekend was very tough on me. I did my best to avoid Facebook and Discord and stuff like that, just because there was so much going on for the event in those two spots. Pictures, all of that, people talking about it, the hype for it, that sort of thing. And then my parents went to the Folk Festival, which is a musical festival that they hold that same weekend. So they were gone. They left some time in the morning and then didn't get home till later in the evening. So they asked if I could pop over and keep their dog company, make sure that he got his dinner and stuff like that. So I actually spent the Saturday that they were at the music festival over at my parents', which also was hard. Just in general. So I did bring over, I think it was some pixels that I brought over with me to work on, and I just kind of vegged out to watching some Netflix stuff and working on some crafty projects, reading a little bit, that kind of thing, just to kind of get me through that day. Hung out with their dog, which is a Weimannheimer. He's a little, I think he's about a month younger than Ace, but they're very close in age, so he's got his similar goofiness to him still. No, he's not really a puppy anymore, but he's still got a lot of puppy mannerisms and behaviors still that are, you know, it's kind of like a goofy teenager, I guess. But yeah, so I did that on the Saturday. Like I said, I brought over some pixels, kind of worked on some stuff like that to kind of pass my time, but it was a very long day. In itself that day. And then that was kind of mostly that weekend, was just kind of doing what I needed to do to kind of take care of myself. Spent a lot of time just away from people, sleeping, doing crafty things, just kind of looking at, like I said, taking care of myself, doing some self-care stuff to kind of get me through that weekend, really. Because I wasn't really in a mood to do much of anything. Yeah, I was kind of in a little bit of a slump that weekend, but we got through it. We survived it. Made it out the other side, still here. Definitely weird. Hoping I won't have to do that often anyways, or that it's easier if I have to do it more than just this year kind of thing. But yeah, weekdays hasn't really been super busy, so that, of course, week was just kind of the standard hubby going to work, me being home with the little man kind of idea. And then this weekend that just passed, I went over on the, I think it was, I went over on the Friday, or no, I went over on the Friday. Yeah, I went over on the Friday. Afternoonish, I drove out to Devon, which is just a little kind of small community. I don't know, about a half hour-ish outside of where I live. That's where my best friend is living with her parents at the moment. She's getting ready to take off to Ireland for some schooling. So she was also sews and sells purses and handbags and that kind of thing. So she had a market booked out in Kalmar, which is another little small kind of community. That's probably about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes away from Devon. So I went over in the Friday night. We hung out. We watched a whole bunch of true crime. We had some dinner. I cuddled her doggy. She did some sewing that she needed on some of her bags to finish them up and get them ready for the market. We made sure one of the vehicles was all loaded up with her rack and all what we could, pretty much all the heavier stuff kind of the night before, and then it was just a matter of grabbing the totes of her bag and getting that out into the vehicle the morning of. So we woke up, stayed up chatting. We had some strawberry daiquiris and stayed up chatting way past when we should have. So we only got like five and a half hours of sleep on that Friday. But we were up at like 6 or 6:30, something like that, so that we could kind of get out of the house into the market to set up, because it was a situation where it was a first come first serve where you set up, and obviously the sooner you get out there, the easier it is to kind of get a prime location for it all. They were having a whole, they called Kalmar Days. They had a pancake breakfast, a parade, like a whole bunch of things going on. A bunch of vendors. So she was one of the vendors. We went out, got set up. Unfortunately, most people just, like, they liked her bags. They commented all of that. A couple of people took her card. But people just weren't in a overall buying mood, it seemed. That was kind of the impression that we both got. She did sell one bag, and then she had another friend of hers who lives out in Devon, went out to Monday, which is another little community. They had a market going on the same weekend, so she went out to that market with like half her stock, and she had much better luck out there than we did out in Kalmar. She sold, I think, like 5 bags that day. So overall it was good. It was nice to kind of have a little get together and hangout session with my friend before she takes off. And then of course that I came home on the Saturday, but a little bit before dinner time, by the time we got back from the market, and I got the energy to drive home pretty much. So the rest of the weekend I was just exhausted. I didn't stay up super late. I slept in, that kind of thing. And then of course we went through this week. We're now on Thursday. Last night got together again with my same friend for that I helped out at the market, and she came into Edmonton this time, and we went over to a place called Hudson's, which is a little pub, and we had some beer and wings and just kind of sat and chatted and enjoyed hanging out and spending some time together. Not necessarily talking about anything in particular, just kind of bouncing around topics, of course. Talked a little bit about her schooling and how she's feeling about that and all that good stuff too. But we had some wings, we had some beer, we shared a dessert. So it was nice. And then came back to my place and she fixed one of my purses for me. she had a couple of books that she had with her, so she let me kind of go through her books. If there were any I wanted to grab, I could grab and take, because she's not taking any of her books with her, and she was just getting ready to haul them off somewhere to donate them. She's read them, that kind of thing too. Yeah, so I snagged a couple of books from her. A couple that she had kind of recommended and ones that looked interesting to me. What else? Yeah, that was it last night. So then today, my aunt was over. It's, like I said, it was a long day. My little man was a little bit trying. Obviously, when my aunt was here, I didn't have to deal with him, and he was fine. He behaves for her for the most part. He's usually pretty good with her. It was just right around the time that she was leaving that we had a little bit of a meltdown with some behavioral stuff, and he got upset, that kind of thing. Pushed some buttons in the process. So yeah, definitely glad that the hubby's now home for the next few days, for the weekend, and I can maybe get a little bit of a break here and there from everything, and then we'll go into next week. This is the little guy's last week of summer before he goes back to school. We've already done, I would say, all of his school shopping. He's got all of his do-tangs and exercise books and pencils and all that kind of stuff already purchased, so it'll just be a matter of labeling what needs to be labeled here in the next week. And then my parents are out camping at the moment, but when they come back on Sunday here, I'll be able to touch base with my mom and we can set up a time to go clothes shopping for the little man. So we'll get him some back to school clothes and probably a new pair of indoor shoes. And then yeah, he'll be fully ready to go. I've already got his timing for his bus schedule, or at least what it's going to start off the year looking like. It periodically changes based off, obviously, more kids needing a drive, routes changing slightly, maybe some kids deciding, parents deciding their kids don't need to take the bus, so it shuffles a little bit, but usually stays roughly the same. Sorry, just having some water, and now I have an ice cube in my mouth. So that's pretty much we'll be gearing up for this next week for back to school. Hopefully, really hoping the teachers don't go on strike. There is a talk of it. So I'm hoping it's not one of those. The kids will go back for a short time and then the strike will be called and then they'll be stuck at home. Because last time that happened, it really throws off my little guy because he is so used to structure and routine, and last time it happened, he had literally just gotten into the back to school routine and then he had to completely flip a switch and try to do being at home and not going to school. Trying to do any sort of school things at home with him was next to impossible. I tried everything. Tried getting him to do short little 5 minutes at a time or one little exercise, and then we'll go back and do exercises, but with the amount that they tried to send home, even for his class, which isn't as structured as some of the others, because he's in a special needs program at school, he still couldn't, we couldn't keep up with it. We didn't get more than half of the stuff accomplished that they sent home. And it was mainly because at home, he just wouldn't sit down and focus on it. He knew his toys were here, other things like that. So it extremely hard, even when I would say, okay, well, we'll finish this exercise, then you can play for X. Like, I tried everything. But yeah, so we'll run into that again if that happens. So I'm really, really hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping they'll come to some sort of agreement in the next week. But I haven't heard anything either way, what that's looking like right now. So yeah, let's just hope. Let's just hope. That's all I can do. Hope for the best. But yeah, that's kind of been the last 2 weeks. Like I said, nothing too crazy, nothing too major. That leads us into where we are at with channel stuff. We hit our 500 goal, which is super exciting. Super happy about that. That one felt like it was going to take a while to hit, and I was starting to think that, well, maybe we aren't hitting it anytime soon. And then I stopped looking, and it snuck up, and we made it. So I guess it just didn't want to be watched as closely or something. So I had, for the last week now, I've had my little giveaway video up. I've had people reply, those who are interested in entering. I'm going with people that I can see publicly subscribed. Unfortunately, there are some that aren't showing up as publicly subscribed, so I don't know if they're a private setting or if they actually are subscribed. So unfortunately, I've had to just kind of pass over those ones because I can't confirm, I can't validate anything. Also, last time I remember when I did a contest, I was able to actually see what channels other people were subscribed to a lot easier. So that looks like now there is a public versus private setting on that too, so that's been making it even more difficult. So I'm just doing the best I can with this giveaway that I'll be probably closing out once I've finished dealing with recording and getting this one going for tomorrow. And then for my next giveaway, I'm gonna have to consider something that works. And the best way of going about how to verify, because obviously they've changed things on me. And it's making it a little bit harder. But yeah, we'll figure it out, and hopefully nobody gets too upset, and that they understand that I am doing my best to make sure it goes to somebody who's part of the channel, watches the channel, supports the channel, all that good stuff, right? So yeah, I'll be closing that down soon, and then of course once I close it down, I'll be doing up the video for the winner, which when that happens, I will I usually kind of put it all in like a random wheel generator, all the names, and then I show the spin on the camera so everybody can see that I'm not playing around, fixing the results, that kind of thing, that it is random, all that good stuff. And then, yeah, and then I'll give some time for the winner to get a hold of me, probably about a week, and then get the prize out. So, looking forward to that. I still gotta kind of put the prize together a bit. Things have just been, like I said, not busy, just my hands have been tied with looking after the little guy more so than anything right now. Once he gets back to school, as long as the teacher strike doesn't happen, things will get a little bit easier to manage in that sense. So I always look forward back to school time just for that reasoning. But what else? Today I got my Witch Casket subscription. That came in the mail. That's something I just subscribed to on my own. I'm not affiliated with them or anything like that. But I like to share what I got in those subscription boxes. So I have to film that. That'll probably come out in a video next week. because I do like to try to get them out fairly quickly after I receive the box. I've got 2 small shop packages sitting that I have yet to open up. So there will be some small shop spotlights that I have to film and get out, as well as unboxings that I have both sitting in my folder already filmed but need to get out, plus some that I actually have to film and put into that folder. Yeah, so I've got stuff like that I just have not had much time to work on and do. So hopefully I'll start getting around to some of that soon. That's kind of channel updates. And then of course there is our Facebook group. Join us on over there. That's lots of fun. It's kind of a place to just be with other channel members that enjoy diamond painting, other crafts, that kind of thing. They can share what they're working on, ask any tips, tricks, anything pretty much crafty, diamond painting related. Show off your diamond painting companions, who keeps you company while you work on your projects, that kind of thing. So that's there for that, just for everybody to kind of interact, have fun, get to know each other a little bit better. Eventually, like I said, I want to start doing lots of fun things over on there. Just waiting for that to kind of build up into another little community, aside from everybody being on the YouTube platform kind of thing, but still channel based. And I think, sorry, I got some yawns here. I think that's about it for this wip and chat. I know it's probably not going to be a super long one by any means. This is, like I said, my weeks haven't been necessarily busy. They've just been my day-to-day life, looking after the kid, kind of busy. Weekends, yeah, I had lots to do, caught up mostly on channel stuff, so other than, like I said, actually having the time to film and get out some of these videos that I want to. That always seems to be my issue, though. But I guess that's what happens when you have a little family to look after. But yeah, I think I'll leave it here. Oh, sorry, the yawns again. I think I'll leave it right here for everybody. I'm going to keep working on this little section, probably tonight. Get a little bit of a chance to kind of hopefully stay up for a bit and at least finish off this section, maybe this one as well, before I feel the need to pass out or stretch out in bed or something. And of course, I will see everybody in the next video with something new. Bye.